Steve, over the course of this weekend, I would think 120 minutes plus of solid hockey from all lines.
Yeah, we definitely had a model going into tonight. It was 4x40, which is 4 lines, 40 seconds hard, and get off the ice. And, you know, it's nice. We've got some depth in our lineup right now, and all 4 lines are finding ways to contribute. And no further said than Sam Carrick between Smithson and Devan late in the game, and that's a big goal for us.
Looking backward to the 6 guys behind those guys up front, they are also contributing on more than just a defensive level.
They are. And you know what, the nice thing right now, Todd, is we're getting a lot of guys contributing in different ways. And, you know, Garret Smith gets 2 points tonight, and it's nice for a penalty killing, shutdown type forward. Anytime you can get rewarded offensively, it's a nice bonus. So everyone played hard here tonight. I thought Christopher Gibson once again was stellar in that, and it's nice to see some of the young goaltending products coming through the system.
When you look at some of the guys that are paired up together now, are you happy with the pairings? Will they continue to be moved around?
No, we'll continue to tinker. Again, I think you know, our job going into the playoffs is to make sure once we do get there that we feel that we've got our best 12 and we have some chemistry. So, you know, we'll continue to tinker. We obviously saw the third period here. It was a full lineup change going into the third with some of our lines, but sometimes as a coach you have to look for different ways to find offense, and thankfully tonight it worked out.
The power play looks reinvigorated. Just spent a lot of time on that the last 2 weeks.
Well, Trevor Smith makes a huge difference in that area for us. He's a guy that he's a surrogate coach when he's on the ice. He's always communicating to some young players. When you got Abbott and you got Levo and McKegg, these are young players in the American Hockey League. So he's a surrogate coach, and obviously TJ Brennan, we know what he can do.
Steve, McLouth's second game back from injury. What did you think of his game tonight?
He's been good. He's getting better and better. Again, he's a very versatile player. He can play on our top line, as he did in the third period tonight, or he can be a fourth line player. So a lot of versatility. But again, now we're getting into a situation where there's more depth in our lineup. So it's being competitive every day.
How much credit does Gibson get from you, for that first period? Because there was a lot of turnovers, odd man rushes, and he came up big when he had to. You
know, you have to give Hamilton a lot of credit. It's their third game. They played last night into an overtime in Syracuse and traveled, got in at 3:34 in the morning, so they deserve an awful lot of credit. They outshot us, and for periods of this game outworked us, especially in the first 40. So Chris kept us in it. He did his job, and it was nice to come out with 2 points, but Hamilton deserves a lot of credit.
Drew up the Leafs at least for now. Do you have a plan in place for how you're going to split the minutes between these?
Yeah, you know what the nice thing now is we don't know how long it's going to be, but you'll see Garret Sparks get an opportunity. We'll discuss it with our management now, and maybe it's Wednesday, but that's something that we'll have to discuss. But it's nice for these 2 young guys, you know, and for the future of the organization. It's nice to see these young guys in the American Hockey League.
Just some thoughts on the differences between the first and the third, where Hamilton did come out pretty strong and got some momentum off that early power play, and obviously you guys broke it open with 3 in the third.
Yeah, urgency. I think when we play urgent, that's how we have to play. We have to find ways to create emotion, and I thought we did a better job of that in the third period. Hamilton came in, they were fatigued, they played a quiet game, but that was a smart road game on their part, and we fell into that trap. So after 40 minutes, the right things were being said. We found that urgency, and it was nice to get our legs and have our fourth line bang one home, and I think we fed off that.
And your top line did pretty well too. I mean, McKegg had a couple of goals.
Well, we expect that. You know, that's the expectation. He's a very unsung player for this organization right now. He's had a very strong year to this point, and it's nice to see him bang 2 goals home. And we'll need that as we go here, because teams are going to concentrate on Trevor and Spencer Abbott. So we need Greg and Josh Levo to be a secondary scoring line for us.
You mentioned them needing to be a secondary scoring line. Greg spent so much time playing the top line with Trevor Smith up at the big club. Does that make it that much easier for you to make those line combinations, seeing the versatility that he has and the chemistry that he can create with his winger?
It does, and I think it makes it more difficult for the opposing coach to get his matchups. So for us, when we saw it in Rochester, Todd can attest that we were able to roll 4 lines and come at Rochester pretty good today. Again, we know that they're going to want certain players out against Trevor Smith, but we can come right back with the McKegg unit. So it's nice as a coach to have that extra bullet in your gun.
You mentioned having a lot more depth now with Trevor Smith coming back and a lot of the guys healthy now. How does Tyler Biggs fit into that plan? Where does he stand?
Yeah.
Where does he stand in your mind?
He'll be back in on Wednesday. Again, we're going to have to rotate some of these young guys in and rotate them out. My job this time of year is to stay in touch with all of these players through communication to make sure they know why they're in or why they aren't in. But we're going to have a rotation basis. There's not much I can do. Fraser McLaren is here now, so certain players are going to play, and we have to make sure everyone is on board with that. But when you have your chance, play to your expectations. That's the key.